Hi guys, Linda here from Create Your Future with a video to answer a subscriber's question or video idea. But before we begin, if you'd like one-on-one coaching, I do offer it. You can find the information below and also the free course that we have on how to uncover your blocks and manifest fast. So I'm just going to read what the comment was. So the comment came under my video about how to have the favorable version of SP when they return, because sometimes they return and it's not 100%. So check that out here on YouTube. And the question this viewer asked was, can you please make a video also talking about when sometimes you are in a good connection, but there are uncertainties, like one person is ready for commitment and the other is not, but they have been together for 3 to 4 years. And also in between sometimes there are some cold behaviors. For example, not talking for a day or two or having dry texts. And then suddenly it's all good calling, texting, and everything again. How to keep the good behavior consistent and what to change in our mindset so we don't get disappointed and keep manifesting positively. Okay, so as we know, everyone is you pushed out. So the first thing I would suggest to do is take your awareness off that story. Like, stop saying things like, sometimes he's hot and cold, and I want commitment but they don't, and sometimes they have cold behaviors, sometimes he has dry text. Because when you're saying that, you're keeping awareness and you're acknowledging all those negative stories. So you can't be in two states at the same time. Either I'm manifesting the most faithful, beautiful, loving, committed relationship with my SP, where they contact me all the time, they love me, they adore me, we're always in constant and consistent communication, they're loving, they're romantic. Or you're saying, well, sometimes they're dry and they don't want commitment and I do, and sometimes they're hot and cold and all that. So the first thing is to drop the old story, because you're keeping that version of SP alive by reinforcing and reiterating that they act that way. So we want to change that. And how do you change that? The complete opposite. So for example, I'm so thankful and grateful that SP is now ready for a committed relationship. I'm so thankful and grateful that SP is always contacting me consistently. I intend that SP always shows up with hot behavior. I intend that SP contacts me and text messages me exactly the way that I want. So you want to reinforce that story and keep repeating that story and saying that story. On another note is that, remember, everyone is you pushed out. So if someone is acting unfavorable, then that means they're reflecting you. So if I feel like I'm the version of self that is never committed to, well, I'm going to attract and create a version of SP that says they're not ready to commit. If I say that, like, let's just say things are going good with SP and I'm like, oh, this is too good to be true. I hope this sticks. I hope his behaviors don't change again. Now I have a fear that he's going to go dry or go cold or change. Guess what? I'm going to have that reflected back to me too. So everyone is you pushed out. Whatever you're fearing, thinking, assuming, the story you're holding on to, the story you keep telling often and most dominant, is going to reflect back to you through their behaviors. That's just the way the law of assumption works. What you assume to be true will be true. So if you assume that, when things are good, they end up going cold. When things are hot, they end up going cold. SP might be texting me great today, but you know what? I don't want to get my hopes up high because last time he ended up ghosting for 2 days and was texting me dry. So again, you're having that fear, you're having that story, you're having that assumption. So SP has no choice but to reflect back to you those stories and thoughts and assumptions and fears that you're holding on to. So another part of the comment was how to keep the good behavior consistent and what to change in our mindset so we don't get disappointed and keep manifesting. So to keep it consistent, think consistent. Consistently stay in the favorable story. Consistently try to think the favorable thoughts, stories, and assumptions. And again, that's going to have to reflect back to you. So every time your mind is going to, oh, you know what, things have been good this week, but I don't know, he might flake again. I'm so grateful that everything is going well this week. He is so consistent, and I know he's just going to continue to be treating me well. I'm so happy that SP messages me all the time. I remember when he used to be flaky, but now SP contacts me constantly, consistently. Our relationship is better than ever. He is always so hot with me, and I'm so grateful that now he's consistently in love with me and consistently shows me and tells me how much he loves and adores me. Things like that. Now, another thing that I want to talk about, which stems from your self-concept, is your perception of things. Okay? So the last part, the viewer says what to change in our mindset so we don't get disappointed and we keep manifesting positively. So everything is neutral. No matter what you see out there, it is neutral. Based on our self-concept and our perception, we're giving it favorable or unfavorable meaning. So for example, if she has SP contacting her really good this past week, morning, afternoon, night, and one day he doesn't message her in the morning. Now, somebody with a good self-concept and with a new story would say he probably slept in, he's busy, he'll call me later. It's not a big deal. I'm busy with work and school, and he'll call when he calls. But somebody that has a poor self-concept or a story of SP flaking, or that it's too good to be true and this week was too good that, no wonder he didn't call this morning. And now you're having a negative perception where the meaning you're giving it is, here we go again. Look, see, I knew it. He was good all week. He's flaky again. Look, he didn't message me this morning. He's flaky again. That is your perception. Why do we keep looking and going back to the unfavorable story? We are giving it that meaning. Or, she had mentioned SP texting dryly. But that's your perception. If I'm home and I'm free and you're messaging me, I can go back and forth quickly. We can respond quickly. But let's just say you happen to message me and I'm really busy at work, or I have people over and I message you slowly, or I forget to get back to you. Now, if that was coming from a friend of yours, you would assume, okay, Linda's probably busy. Like, she'll message me later. You don't give it that much importance and you don't perceive it as something negative. But God forbid, God forbid, if SP messages you slower or, forgot to message you, all of a sudden, we're not saying maybe he's busy, no big deal. We're saying, oh, he's flaky. Maybe she's talking to another girl. That's so rude. That's disrespectful. Like, how long does it take to respond to somebody? Everybody has 30 seconds to respond to somebody. So again, we're perceiving it as something negative. We're giving it meaning as something negative. And that stems from our self-concept of doubt, fears, not feeling prioritized, not feeling chosen, not feeling loved, not feeling good enough. And also the story of SP. SP's flaky. SP always changes. SP's not consistent with their messages. SP always has a good week of texting, and then all of a sudden I get a crappy week of texting. He's so hot and cold. Stop perceiving it as that. That goes back to when we say give everything a good meaning. Even when she mentions the part about when you want commitment, but SP doesn't. Even though you've been together for 3 or 4 years, one of you wants commitment, one of you doesn't. Again, the first thing is you're giving it bad meaning. They don't want commitment because they like somebody else. They don't want to be committed to me because they want freedom. Maybe they're not really into me. Men don't commit to me. Maybe I'm not good enough for commitment. Maybe I'm too tall. Maybe I'm too old. Maybe I'm too young. Maybe they only can marry somebody of their culture and religion, and he's just stringing me along. Maybe I'm just a placeholder. That's why they don't want to get a commitment. Well, if you give it that negative meaning, that's what you're going to keep attracting, and that's what's going to happen. And you're going to keep staying as the version of yourself that's in a non-committed relationship. So again, if we work on our self-concept of being loved, wanted, chosen, committed to, I intend SP is committed to me. I intend SP is so ready for the next step in our relationship. I intend that because I am worthy and good enough of receiving that. Then you know what? SP might come around and say, you know what, I was thinking about it, and maybe I am ready to take the next step with you. Number one. Number two, going back to giving it good meaning, if SP says I'm not ready yet, SP is just nervous. He really, really loves me. He just wants to make sure that he's got all his eggs in one basket. Oh, SP is just saying this, but I know that this time of him figuring out, when and how to commit to me is just making him realize how much he loves me and adores me, and is making him realize how much he wants to commit to me. Oh, I know that the more I'm patient and I don't nag him about being committal, and I stay cool and I work on myself, it's going to make him realize, like, hey, you know what? This person's a pretty cool dude. She's a pretty cool chick. Like, wow, I'm so thankful that she's calm and she's been patient to me. Maybe I do want to commit to him or to her. Do you get what I'm trying to say? We give meaning to everything we see based on our perception. Our perception comes from our beliefs, our stories, our fears, our experiences, and our thoughts. And that comes from your self-concept. So my advice would be, first of all, find out those blocks. For example, if SP doesn't want to commit to you, what's the story you're holding on to? I'm non-committal, relationships don't work out, he's flaky, he's a player, we're a different race, we're a different culture. What are those blocks there? The next thing is, when he's hot and cold or dry or good one week, good not another, again, what's the block in the story there? I'm not feeling prioritized. I'm not feeling chosen. I'm not feeling good enough. Okay? And the story you have of SP, he's flaky. He can only be good for so long. He's never consistent. Eventually he ends up, changing again. He's only good for so long. And then all of a sudden, his attitude changes. Or look, every time he does a message in the morning, that means it's starting a whole flaky, week of flaky, dry messages. So you want to look at those things. Now, once you found those blocks, we're going to say the opposite. I love how SP now is so committed and consistent with me. I love the way SP contacts me. I intend that SP contacts me constantly and consistently. I intend that I'm the first thing that SP thinks about every morning, day and night. SP loves me and adores me and wants a committed relationship with me because I am worthy of a committed relationship. I'm so committal material. I am marriage material. I intend that everybody that I desire desires me more. I am worthy. I am perfect and good enough for this type of relationship. You want to change all those things. I'm always chosen and prioritized. I'm the version of myself that gets the best relationship she ever wants. I'm the version of myself that only accepts and attracts the best version of SP. I am always in faithful, loving, committed relationships and receiving princess treatment. So you want to stick to that favorable story more. And the more you stay in the favorable story, the more you change those beliefs and thoughts and fears into something that matches and aligns with your desire, the more you'll start seeing movement. And in the 3D, once something does seem off, like the text message comes a bit later, or, they didn't message you that morning, stop. Give it a good meaning before we spiral and give it a negative meaning. And then you'll stop the spiral in its track and you'll stop the negative behavior from occurring again. Because again, everything's got to reflect back to you, your inner thoughts, mental diet, and all that. So in saying that, I intend that you all are going to keep an amazing mental diet. You're going to stick to the new story dominantly. You guys got this. You deserve your desire. You deserve the money, the best relationship. You deserve whatever you want. Find those blocks, and if you need some help with that, I would love to help with coaching. Uncover those blocks, change the new story, stick to your guns dominantly, and you'll see that you'll be able to get everything you want consistently, quickly, and it'll be here to stay. So on that note, I intend that this video was super helpful, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.